Today is Sunday, October 18th, 2020, and today I'm thinking about how this whole earth is rigged and it's not fair, and oftentimes the only winning move is to not play, and also how we're just surrounded by a bunch of crabs in a bucket, and you have to be the non-crab in the bucket that's willing to try to do the right thing and hopefully find some other people who can help you out. But it's very hard to find people like that. Matthew chapter 22, verses 20 through 22. And he saith unto them, Whose is this image and superscription? They say unto him, Caesar's. Then saith he unto them, Render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. When they had heard these words, they marveled and left him and went their way. And I think that this applies to all sorts of things, like politics. Maybe you've heard before that politics is just Hollywood for ugly people, ugly inverts that hardly pass. And I think that you can apply this to the TV. Let the TV land stuff stay on the TV. Turn it off. When I read this, I think of like rising above. Rise above that stuff. Who cares about Caesar? Is basically what Jesus is saying. Who cares? Just give all the money back to Caesar. Who cares? I liked this comment. Nothing that's worth any money in this world is fair. Nothing, not sports, music, politics, horse racing, casinos, etc. Even trash removal is rigged by the mafia. Nothing is on the up and up in this world. The sooner we realize this, the sooner we can remove our energy and attention from the system. Yeah, this whole earth, a lot of it is there just to enrage you, just to waste your time. I'm sure that you've heard of energy vampires before. And a lot of times shills, they're just trying to get a rise out of you. And oftentimes, just the only winning move is to not play, to not get invested in it, to rise above it. And I also thought this comment was funny because the trash removal comment, because where I live, the trash removal utilities, I mean, all the utilities are there to enrage you and take your money. Even though they're the big guys, they're going to stomp on all the little guys. And our local trash removal people are the worst. Like if your trash can lid is a little bit propped up, they'll charge you extra money. And I have elderly neighbors, and sometimes they'll leave like a big box out that they can't break down, and the trash people just leave it there. Like nobody is willing to help out. And there's probably some stupid policy in place. And the trash people just, it seems like everybody, almost everybody, they just go along with the system. Companies can have the most insane policies, and it's like workers will never say, oh, that's just my boss has this crazy policy, but it makes no sense here. And then people are very reluctant to do the right thing in situations like that. It's like people, they think that some rule that some person made up is more important than doing the right thing. And I often think of render unto the Illuminati that which is the Illuminati's. When your utility companies are nickel and diming you and giving you all sorts of taxes and charging you extra money for not having a smart meter, we're just not supposed to get emotionally invested in that stuff. Whatever, take your Illuminati money. And yeah, I already mentioned before, the people have this attitude of, sorry, sir, it's a policy, it's our policy. And nothing enrages me more than when it doesn't even have to be me in the scenario. You can just see it happening, and it just fills you with rage. When you see that something is not fair, something's not right, but there's just some person standing there going, sorry, it's a policy, I can't help you out. Just something about that just fills me with rage. And I guess it's just a lesson that you should know that this place doesn't work the way it does because that's the way it makes sense. And this place is rigged. And the only winning move is to not care, to not get emotionally invested in things that don't matter. But also the message of this is, it seems like there are so few people out there that are willing to, break the little rules, you might say. But the thing is that a rule is only as important as the person giving it. Like, who cares what some manager at some place, oftentimes these managers are, of course, inverts, and they'll have these psychotic rules that don't make any sense. And those aren't rules that are important to follow. The rules that are important to follow are the commandments from God. And I think of how Jesus helped people on the Sabbath, even though the people, so clearly God never gave a commandment that you're not allowed to help people on the Sabbath, but man, trying to one up each other and how holy they are, came up with all these absurd rules about what to do on the Sabbath. And I just like how Jesus says, nah, I'm not having any of that, and goes and helps people on the Sabbath, even though doing so made these people want to stone him to death. And yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking about. People have this attitude of, oh, not my problem. The trash truck driver who just left the box there, even though he probably knew that most of my neighbors are elderly, so he probably knew that the person couldn't even break it down if they wanted to. They probably just thought, it's not my problem. And same thing with, oh man, see, it's getting rage boiling up inside of me, but we're just not supposed to care about this stuff. Meter maids who are sitting there with their stopwatch waiting for the moment that they can give you the ticket. Like I've run into a meter maid before who literally they had the ticket written out and they were sitting there waiting for the clock to hit the time, and then boom, they put it on there. I literally came back to my car like as the person was putting the thing on the window, but they don't care. And of course, at the moment I got super enraged, but that was a long time ago. Nowadays, I don't know, it probably still would make me enraged, but life's not fair and it's rigged, and we're full of a bunch of people that would rather follow the little rules that their boss came up with rather than doing the right thing. And yeah. Crabs in a bucket. Blind leading the blind. We have a big time bystander effect going on where people just think it's not their problem. And yeah, I mean, again, I think back to in the Bible where somebody needed healing, but people were just sitting by idly watching. And Jesus was the one who went up and helped the person. I know that this seems so trivial and so silly, but it's something that I often think of, is how a lot of times when I would be in a restaurant and you see a bunch of people using the bathroom like normal, but then you go in there, there's no soap, they're out of hand towels or paper towels, and it's like that you're not the first person to go in there and see that. So what? There were 10 people before you, and none of them decided to tell somebody that they needed soap or that they were out of paper towels. And yeah, it's just that it's not my problem. Crabs in a bucket mentality. People don't care to do the right thing. And it's like there's very few people out there that are willing to put in the effort to do what's right and to not just let things be as they are. Why is it such a rare quality to... I think of this as somebody is your friend if they'll tell you that you have something on your face. It's like everybody else will just let you have it on your face and not say a word. It's just a strange phenomenon. We should all think of the golden rule. Do we like it when we're sitting there and we know that we're being unjustly treated just because some stupid rule? Of course, we hate that. So why would we work a job and then enforce those rules on people? It's just one of those things where I've always personally been like, I don't know if I could enforce some ridiculous policy just because my crazy baffo boss told me to do it. And this earth, unfortunately, is just filled with mostly yes men who they'll just do whatever they're told because they don't want to cause a wake. Matthew chapter 9, verses 37 and 38. Then saith he unto his disciples, The harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. And it really seems like there's very few people out there that are willing to do something about it, to actually do something about it. And so I know this video has a few different messages at play here, but I think they're kind of interconnected. This earth is rigged and it's not fair, but the winning move, the solution, is to not be invested in it, to rise above it. It's just ultimately not important. And what is important is Jesus Christ, the truth, living your life for God. Those things are important. And it's helped me to realize that you really are surrounded by a bunch of crabs in a bucket. Who knows if they're just like an NPC at the end of the day under it all? Like, what is going on spiritually? I don't know. But I think it just helps to realize that, yeah, this place is rigged and fake, and we're not supposed to like it. And we need to be the harvesters, and you need to be the one to do something about it. Well, that's it for this video. God bless everyone.